Greetings, friend. I will show you how to recover from Sudoku mistakes like a pro. I'll also show you how to avoid these mistakes and solve Sudoku quicker. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go. And with that, it's solving time. Okay, you see these two ones? There's only one place for one here in block 9. And if you look across here, you got a 2, 8, 9 left. Well, the 8 means the only place for an 8, and row 8's right there. And with this 9, this has to be your 9. That has to be your 2. So I did this puzzle in competition. I competed in round 8, and I started off rather well by looking at this. And then I went up column 8 because you already had 5 digits filled in. So we're looking for 2, 3, 4, 5. You look at this cell, you see that a 3, 4, and 5 all see it, so that has to be a 2. And then with this 3 and a 5, this has to be a 4, and it allows us to put a 3, 5 there as a naked pair. And then also with this 2 and these 2's, you can solve for 2 right here. You're looking at the 4's, you got these 2 4's and this 4, so 2 spots for 4 in block 3. What I just did is called Snyder notation. Anytime in a 3x3 block, you have 2 possibilities for a candidate, you mark it. And in case you solve one, you can solve the other one right away. There's also another benefit to Snyder notation I'm about to show you. You see this 4 cutting across row 1 and this 4 coming up leaves 2 possibilities for 4 here in block 1. Well, since these 4's are limited in block 1 to column 1, they act as a pointing pair, which means since a 4 has to be in one of these spots, a 4 cannot be anywhere else along column 1. So it can't be here. That 4 guarantees that, but it can't be in these 2 spots either. And since you have a 4 here, we can solve this cell for a 4 in block 7. Learn about pointing pairs by downloading my free Sudoku guide from the pinned comment. But we can use this knowledge, this 4 with this 4, to solve for 4 in block 8. And now with these 2 4's and these 2 4's, we can solve for 4 in block 5. Okay, let's switch gears to the 9's. You got 2 9's here, and this 9 means we can solve for a 9 in block 7. And then if you look across row 6 here, and I saw all of this while I was solving, a 9 can't be here because of this 9. Can't be here because of this 9. Can't be here because of this 9. So a 9 in row 6 is limited to this spot right there. So you're able to solve that. And then with these 2 1's, this has to be a 1, which leaves us with a 6, 8 naked pair. So I saw all of that. And another tip here, a 6, 8, a naked pair acts as a pointing pair. So a 6 and 8 cannot be in these spots. And with this 6, can't have a 6 there. This has to be a 6. Okay, now let's look over here in column 2. You might notice we only have 3 possibilities left. We have 6 filled out. This is what I was doing in competition. You want to look where you have most of the cells filled out in a house. Since the 2 can't be in those 2 spots, it has to be right there, which gives us an 8, 9 naked pair. And now if you notice, the 8's are limited to these 2 spots in block 4. They're also limited to these 2 spots, the same 2 rows, rows 4 and 5 in block 6, which means that 8's got to be there and there, or there and there. This is called a mini X-wing, but what it means is the 8's are now limited to row 6 here in block 5. And since a 2's there, and then 8's already looking at that spot, you can solve for an 8 right here. And then with these 2 8's and this 8, we can solve for an 8 here. And with these 2 8's and this 8, we can solve for an 8 up there in block 1. All right, let's keep looking in block 1. See if you can find this. Share it with someone else and see if they can find it. What you have here are 4 digits, right? 1, 3, 4, 7. Well, if you look in this cell right here, it's a little tricky to find. It can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, or 9. This has to be a 7. All right, hopefully you spotted that. And what it leaves for us is this nice naked triple. There's 3 possibilities left, a 1, 3, and 4. So we can mark all 3 of those. And a naked triple, since it's all in the same column and in the block, they're going to act as a pointing triple for us as well, which means that the 1, 3, and 4 cannot be anywhere else along this column. And so you can't have a 1 in these 2 spots. You have a 1 right here. We can solve this cell now for a 1. And where it leaves us is we got 2 possibilities left here in row 6, a 6 or a 7. This next part is pretty tricky. It's going to be hard to see, so I want to point it out to you. And it's using those claiming pair, similar thing we used before with the 8, but it's going to be a little bit stronger. So you have a 6 here and here. There's only 2 possibilities for a 6 in block 2, so I can make Snyder marks. But I'm also going to color those blue. You look down here in block 8, where can a 6 be? Well, it's got to be in one of these 3 spots. We don't mark Snyder notation for 3 because it will mess you up a little bit when you're trying to do the solving bit. But I do want to highlight that in blue because the deal is in block 2, the 6s are limited to columns 5 and 6. It's got to be in one of these 2 spots. In block 8, it's the same thing. The 6 is limited to columns 5 and 6, right? It's got to be in one of these 3 spots. So 6 has got to be here and here, or it's going to be here and in one of these 2 spots. This is also another form of that mini X-wing, but really what it creates is what we call a claiming pair. It says the 6s are limited to these 2 spots in block 5, right? Because they can't be here. If they're in one of these spots, you'd run out of places to put the 6 in blocks 2 and 8. And since the 6s are limited to these 2 spots, you can eliminate a 6 from right there and solve that for a 7 and solve this cell for a 6. Subscribe to Smart Hobbies if you like to solve claiming pairs. Okay, now this restricts a 5 and 7 of these 2 cells in column 1. And I saw all of this, so I know with the 7 right there, that the 7's got to be here in the column, and the 5's got to be right there. And so this is where I started to make the mistake, because I got a little too excited. First, let's get and move out these colored 6s. We don't need that anymore. You got these 2 8s here. 6, 8 acts as a pointing pair, so 8s can't be here. And with that 8, we can solve for an 8 right there. And then I saw with these 5s, you got these 2 5s and this 5. We can solve for a 5 here and clean up column 8. And now with this 3, we can solve this for a 1. And we're going to be able to do a lot of solving across the row here. Okay, because what we see is this cell, because of the 9 here and these 2 9s, can be a 9. All right, and then you got your 2 5 and 2 4 and a 5 here. We got this 5 right there, so that's got to be your 5. You got this 2 right here, so that's your 2. That's your 4. So we're allowed to solve this 4 and 3, disambiguating that naked pair, and then we can solve for a 3 right there, looking good. We got a 5 or 7 to finish row 1. I see my 7 there. I solved that 7, I solved that 5, and then right here is where I made the big mistake. We're going to put that in red. I came down and saw, okay, I know this has to be a 5 or a 6, and I decided to put the 5 right there and the 6 right there. I went too fast in what I was trying to see. And so I put a 6 here, I put an 8 there, I put an 8 there, I put a 9 there. But then, coming back here, I noticed that that would also be a 5. And that can't be. And by the time I solved all this and came back here, I didn't realize that I had mismarked these 2 cells. And so I spent over 10 minutes trying to figure this out in competition. I couldn't do it. So you know what I did? And this is what I recommend if you've got multiple puzzles. I moved on to the next puzzle. And I had to throw this out of my memory and then move on. And I decided to come back and look at it again to see what I could learn from it. The thing that I could have done to prevent that, we come here, is before marking this 5, I should have finished block 4 here. I could have easily put that 5 in at that point. Putting that 5 in would have made this an easy solve. Yep, I see the 5 there and the 6 there. I just got to look at my peripheral, easy, easy. And then I could put the 6 there, the 8 there, the 8 here, and the 9 right there. And so that is what I learned from it, and I had to retrace my steps to even figure out what I did. I had to go over the entire puzzle again. Hopefully this will not happen to you. Make sure you're marking right and not going too fast. Okay, so we can put a 3 right there. And then what you're looking for, it looks like, is a 1 or 9. I got my 9 here. So we're going to finish this puzzle strong. All right, with these two ones, you can put a 1 here, displacing that Snyder 6. We got a full house coming down here. So we know we can solve that for a 3. And with this 3, we can solve for a 3 in block 9. Looking good. And let's start working these full houses. Okay, and we're just missing a 7 right there. And with this 7, we can solve for a 7 here, which is going to give us a 6 here. Don't see a 6 in block 7, so that's got to be your 6. That's got to be your 2, and the last digit right here is a 2. See more ways to recover from Sudoku mistakes in this video. If this content's bringing you value, then buy me a coffee. I'd really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching.